Good morning. This is Morning Thunder for October 26th. This is TheBigJB. Also, COUNTJOSHULA on Twitter. Really starting the Christianity and Culture series. The funny thing about it is I was talking with my wife this morning, and I'm having a hard time figuring out where to start. Because I generally believe that I should take my seatbelt off now that I'm actually here. I can probably do that. I generally believe that Christians have not done an effective job of engaging the culture that they've been in. And I think I said that yesterday. We have my wife suggested talking about how the culture here is different than in other countries. And the culture that we have here in America is, we reached a saturation point where Christianity is very well known in terms of, we know what Christians are. There's a lot of people who claim to be Christians in our country. There are a lot of people who think they know what the tenets of Christianity are. If you go to other countries, it's not exactly the same. Certain countries, definitely. But there are other countries where it's, almost practically an unknown. So we have reached a saturation point, and I think that because it's became such a part of our country, I think it ultimately had a negative impact. Or let me rephrase that. I don't think that Christianity had a negative impact. I think that Christians had a negative impact. As I mentioned yesterday, I did pose a question one time on my live journal, which I don't update anymore. So I'm not going to give the address. That's the reason why I said that. I guess it was almost 4 or 5 years ago, where I had asked what people's major objection to Christianity is, and not a single person had an objection to Christianity. Every single answer that they gave me had to do with Christians. And so I think that where Christians have kind of fallen down in our culture is in trying to change the culture rather than looking at things within the culture and figuring out how to present things within that culture that help people see their point of view or help people see how those things are linked. Case in point, you can do it with movies. You could give me almost any topic, and I can show you a message or a truth about God or about Jesus Christ within that topic. It's just, I can see it. But that's because I've taken time to understand it. It's because I've taken time to really let this Christianity thing sink in. See, I happen to be, one of those people who has taken time to really think things through and really allow Christianity to become not just a fad, not just something that I do. I'm not just a mindless church drone, but I really understand what I believe. I've really taken time to understand what I believe. For me, it definitely is a faith, but it is also something that I understand at an intellectual level, and there's a lot of logic in what I believe. But there's also a lot of faith. And that is where I think Christians have fallen down in their, in whether they, I don't know what people, what a lot of other Christians, what they feel. I don't know that if they feel like it's their duty to convert everybody, but I'll tell you one thing: standing on the corner with a repent or burn sign doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't help me as a Christian. I'll tell you that much right now. There's already enough lunatics who get attention from the media who give Christians a bad name, and I want to see more people do like what our church does, where our pastor has a real heart for the community. And when I say that, I mean he's genuinely trying to do good things for the community and not just trying to fill the church seats. Yes, do churches want to have people in the churches? Of course. We feel, in our church, we feel that we have something special in our church, in the members who go there, in the way that we worship God. And so, yeah, we want to share that with people. It's like being excited about, a video game or a book that you've read. You know, you look at how many Twitters people post about things that they're excited about or things that they're doing right now. You want to share that with people. And that's what our church does. But when I say that our pastor has a passion for the community, he genuinely is extending a hand to the community. We're building a church that will extend themselves to the community around us. It's so positive that the chief of police, the fire department, other public schools that are not religiously affiliated want to have our church involved in things because they know that there's a genuine heart there. There is no pressure. There is no preaching. It's just a practical, and I think for us it's just a practical expression of the love of God to say, look, there's a need that needs to get filled here. We want to fill that. That's I think a message and something that has been missing from a lot of presentations of the gospel of Jesus Christ. The heart of God is to say to you, what do you need? And I want to help. I want to do that. And I think that a lot of people have had negative experiences because it hasn't happened the time that they think it should have happened. It hasn't happened in the way that they think it should have happened. They think it's and then the other thing that they've seen is they've either received a lot of platitudes when they go through bad stuff, or they have people who have condemned them. Oh, this isn't happening for you because you've got sin in your life or whatever. It's that has been a mistake in how we have talked to people about stuff. And I think, for myself, I've made more than my fair share of mistakes. I'm sure that I have in the things that I've done in the past. But the good thing is that I've learned from them. And I pray that I haven't done anything that has cost somebody their faith, that has cost them the opportunity to experience the things that I've experienced. So I'm looking at the time now, it's about 7 minutes, and I've done enough of my little lecture and preaching for the day today. But I certainly am interested in more questions. I did have a couple that came in and some good comments from a couple of people here on YouTube, so I want to maybe talk about those over the next couple of days. But if you're watching this and you have questions, or you'd like to hear me talk about something in particular, I'd be more than happy to do that. Anyway, this has been the Big JB, Count Joshua, signing off for today's Morning Thunder. Have a great day today.